Hi, I'm Becca.
Hi, I'm Emma.
And this is
Life in Quarters.
Today's side note is an update on the whole we've applied to places to move out to, and now let's circle back to where we're at with that. So I was like, ooh, I'm gonna buy a house, and Emma was like, ooh, I'm gonna get a studio apartment.
Yes.
Emma, would you like to update us on your stuff?
I do want to update. I also want to say that in the long form episode, both of us were like, we're going to find out like the day before the episode came out. Neither of us found out the day before the episode came out. In fact, we didn't even find out the day the episode came out, which was annoying. But I got the apartment. I found out on Thursday, and I was actually like nannying at that exact moment. And I was holding this sweet little baby that I nanny for. And the leasing agent called me and told me that I got it. And honestly, she has a terrible poker face. She called and she was like, hey, is this Emma? And I was like, yes. She's like, so I have an answer. And in my head, I was like, if I didn't get it, and this is your tone of voice, you're an evil, evil person. And she's like, you got approved for the apartment. And I was like, like very quietly and gently, because I'm holding this sweet little infant in my arms. And I was like holding the infant, and I was like, I did it. I got an apartment. I did it. And so I get to move into my new place on July 31st, which is soon.
That is so soon. Oh my gosh. But it's also so exciting. Like sooner. Wow, that's in 2 weeks at this point. Holy moly.
Yeah, I need to start packing urgently. Like by the beginning of August, and I guess an episode for announcements, because I can finally talk about this also. I am in a writing fellowship, and I also, for my TV show that I wrote, and I also have to, by the beginning of August, have the whole TV pitch done. And I also have to be fully moved in to my new apartment. So these next 2 weeks are really going to be a grind.
At least it's a grind for all the right reasons.
Yeah.
My update is that the underwritten process was completed. So I did get approved for a $775,000 home loan, but I could have gotten more. And I was thinking about it with my husband. We were touring a lot of places because the first place that we found that inspired us, and basically we were like, oh my gosh, we can't believe that something that we could afford is within, a reasonable area that we want to be in and is relatively move-in ready. Like, I can't believe that this exists. And so it inspired us to be like, hey, well, let's look at other places that are within a similar price range. And as we did that, we found places that were objectively better than the original place that inspired us, but weren't like great. You know what I mean? Like, I was looking around and I was like, all of these are good, but none of them make me feel like this could be home. None of them felt like home to me. And we were looking at a lot of 3-story places with their garage on the bottom and then like the living space in the middle and then all the bedrooms on top, which is becoming more and more commonplace in California. At least I don't know about other states, but in California, holy moly, they are all over the place. And the areas that these ones are in are always a bit nicer than classic other condos. Okay. The parking situation's easier. Sometimes they're in gated communities. Like, they're just generally more upscale, which is kind of what we're going for. And again, the parking situation for visitors is very easy. And so this is kind of like what we're going for, but not really what my heart wants. And so I was thinking about it, and I talked to my husband, and he asked me, he goes, well, like, you are the one who is currently responsible for 100% of our income right now, because he just moved to this country in February. He's going for jobs a lot, but like, he's still in that in-between phase of like getting settled and finding, getting back onto his career path in a new country. And so I'm right now, like, I am the sole provider for the household. And he goes, are you comfortable with a mortgage being that big? Because the thing was, because of my side income, because of content creation, I qualify for a lot. Like, my yearly income qualifies me for a home loan individually. That is, $700,000, $800,000. But in order to actually support that fee, that monthly cost baseline, not even including anything that could go wrong, I would need to bring in at least like $6,500 a month. to like after taxes,
Yeah.
or I guess 6,500 because then after taxes and all these things, then I end up with that 3,000 something extra that I need in order to support the house. And the month, like last month, not a good month for me. Last month, okay, yeah, not a good month for me on paper. Last month, I wouldn't have been able to afford our mortgage. And that was scary. I thought about it and I was like, here's my actual problem, because we all know that content income is unpredictable. My actual problem is that if we really wanted to buy a house right now, that would be our entire savings.
Yeah.
It'd be the entire emergency fund. It would be all the money we set aside for trips. And then I started thinking and I was like, we still have another $4,500 to put towards dental work. Yeah. We have a trip we're taking in Japan. We want to go to Disney World next year. And all of this is like, okay, but do you want that or do you want a house? And I was like, I want a house. Dental work, health stuff, you can't really, I mean, you can sidestep at that, but it's always a mistake. And going to Japan, like we already have the flights booked and everything. We just need to do hotels, which I think we don't have to, break the bank to necessarily do, but I was really thinking about it and I was getting increasingly stressed about all the expenses that had to come up. And I was like, truly the main issue is that we wouldn't have a cushion anymore if we purchased the house, because that would be all of our money. Mm-hmm. That would be everything. And of course, I have my parents who I could lean on in a pinch, but I like super, super don't want to do that. Yes. And so we were like, okay, well, if we took 3 or 4 months, let's say we don't buy a house right now, let's say we give ourselves 3 or 4 months to further build our savings, then we'd be golden. It's crazy that 3 or 4 months could actually really turn this around for us. So now the conversation has pivoted to, do we want to do a month-to-month lease at our current apartment? Okay. And that would cost an extra, I think it's an extra $400 a month. But that's different than $3,000, yes. The $3,500 that a whole house would be. But and then the question is, well, we're back at war with Iran, and mortgage rates, interest rates are about to get high again, like they're already going up. And, interest rates go high quick, just like inflation. Quick to go up, slow to come down. So that means, okay, do we think we're going to get an interest rate that we can live with in a couple of months? Because right now it would have been 6.4%, I think, was what we got for underwritten stuff. And it was just like, there's just so many questions. So as of right now, I think we're still on the fence between month to month where we're currently at and then buying a house or getting a 2-bedroom, because a 2-bedroom would basically cost, I would say, like $200 more than the month-to-month rent here. But if we do that, then we have to sign for a whole year, because the month-to-month rent in that situation, one, it wouldn't be worth it to like move all of our stuff into a new place and then leave that place in a couple of months. Spare me, I'd rather just live here. And we plan on my husband landing a job in the next 2 to 3 months. And we know generally the area he's going to be in is probably like an hour and 20 minutes away from where we currently live, if not more. And so we wanted to pick a place that's more central, more easily accessible to more variety of areas. And so, that we kind of want to move location. So right now, I feel like I'm in a totally different spot than I was when we had our conversation, purely for like practicality reasons. I still think buying a house is on my radar. Like, it's something I want to do, even fully acknowledging that like right now the climate is, it's a renter's market. Buying a house is a bad idea. Like, that's still something I want to do. I don't think it's in the cards for us right now. I think that might be a next year thing. But right now I'm debating between the month to month here, maybe signing a new lease here. That's something my husband did pitch. And I was like, unfortunately, if you got a job anywhere that you're likely to get a job, your commute would be unreal. And he's from England. Yeah. He's not accustomed to a long commute. He was complaining about like his 10-minute commute back in England. He was like, that's so far. That's so long. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, the last place I worked was 5 minutes down the road. And to be fair, where he was living in that city where he was working was like, he was crazily well placed. He was so well placed. But here, you get a commute anywhere you go. So, this is something I'm definitely like talking to people about what I should do. So if you have a suggestion for me in the comments section, I'll be reading it because I feel like they both seem completely feasible. They both seem like completely feasible options. And it's one of those things where when you're so close to it, it gets hard to tell. It gets hard to have an objective opinion. And another layer is my husband and I, we want to get a second dog, and he wants it to be a kind of a bigger dog. And so he's like, oh, a 2-bedroom would be big enough for a second dog. And I was like, I don't even know if a 2-bedroom would be big enough. Like, I think you need a whole house for a second dog, especially a big one. But even if we bought a condo, like, they don't come with a backyard. So it's like it's a whole thing. And so it's another layer of, once my husband's settled in a job, if we factor in his income, then we could maybe afford a bit better. Like, maybe we don't have to buy a condo, maybe we could buy an extra house, because if you go from 800,000 to like $950,000 to $1 million, then you can have a house with a yard. Then you have more options. But then you're trying to outrun the race of inflation and housing prices, and it's a whole thing. And then he's thinking, we could just rent a house, which is an option. You guys, there's just a lot of options. There's a lot of options out there, and I'm getting decision fatigue, but at least I have the ability to have choices, that's always nice. Can't take that for granted. Anyways, that's my update.
No, I love that. And I think that's very, very smart, because you have time now, because your husband's looking for a job right now too, and you don't know where that's going to land you. And also, I think that's so nice that you got approved. I think it frees you up to think about your options. When I have something like that, where I'm waiting for an answer and then I get that answer and then I can reevaluate whether or not I want to act in that moment, I think it becomes very clear. So I think getting approved for the loan is amazing. So super congratulations. But I also think it's very smart and makes perfect sense to me that upon getting approved for that, it created some mental space and some freedom to be like, oh, we didn't even realize that this was a possibility. And then we realized it was a possibility, so we were waiting to see if the loan would get approved. And then the loan got approved, and now we know it's a possibility, so we don't need to act quick or in desperation. Like, we can wait until things are in the right spot for us to do the things that we want to do, kind of thing. So I think that makes perfect sense.
And then also, we've been touring some apartments, and we toured 2. The first one we toured, I was like, all of our options are bad. This is a horrible apartment. I can't believe they call this luxury, because I'm a bit of a high maintenance gal. I'm frequently told that things don't need to cost as much as I pay for them, which, I mean, fair enough. I can't tell you you're wrong, but I want to be comfortable. I want to live a lush life with a pool and a jacuzzi and a clubhouse area and a media room. Listen, okay, I got things I want.
That's valid.
And this place kind of had all those things, but it also had a review section that reminded me of the one that Emma brought up in our full-length episode, and one of the first comments I saw was, I'm so excited to be leaving this place today. I hated it here. Good riddance. I hope I save you some time. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's almost verbatim what the person commented on that other apartment place that Emma talked about. And it was full of that, and they were saying, like, the one elevator is down. It's been down for months. They haven't fixed it. Also, cars get broken into. Like, it was a whole slew of complaints, and I had been reading these reviews on our way to this place already, and so I was like, okay, well, we're going here anyways. I guess we're taking this tour, even though I know for certain we are not going to live here. And then also the ground was like, I think the ground was concrete or something, but I don't know. Basically, I couldn't believe they had the audacity to call it a luxury apartment building. Ugh. And I was so annoyed that we almost didn't go to the second place that we were going to tour. And I was like, angry, and I was sweaty, and I thought it was gonna be overcast and warm, but it was overcast and I thought it was gonna be overcast and cold, but it was overcast and muggy.
Ew, no.
And I was wearing one of my cute sweat sets with my waterproof, like, really soft boots, and I was ready to jump off a cliff because I was so hot. And we stopped for food on the way, and luckily I was just hangry, and so I was like, okay, let's go to the second place. And the second place was significantly better. The 2-bedroom apartment came with 2 parking spots, which is rare. The fridge had a water dispenser, which is another thing rare. I have grown to have as a requirement, is a in-unit washer and dryer, and also in fridge water dispenser and ice dispenser. That's, oh my gosh, that is the new definition of luxury for me in an apartment. And I just really liked it. And the rent is just barely, you have to have 3 three times the cost of rent as your gross income monthly, and my career income just barely does not cover that, which means I have to bring in my side hustle income, my self-employment income to like fill in the gaps. And I'll tell you what, that is so inconvenient. You have to get a bunch of stuff notarized.
It's a whole thing.
You have to
It's
pull a bunch of
annoying.
stuff. Once again, a bunch of forms that you don't understand. It is such a hellscape. So really, that's the primary reason I haven't decided to apply to that yet, because I'm lazy. And I think we're probably going to do 1 month here in this current apartment. I think we're going to do at least 1 month. 1 to 2 months, depending on how lazy I am. But it is nice to have that cushion. So I do think I'm leaning towards the 2-bedroom apartment.
I think that's a good next step.
Again, my husband brought up a good point of how much will that really change our lives, getting a 2-bed versus a 1-bed, because right now our 1-bed has this amazing little nook.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in the bedroom right now, but this is like a little pop out section of the bedroom. If you're on video, you have a clear visual of what I'm referring to. And I've been using this as like an office, and then my husband, his whole setup is in the living room where a dining table would be, but who the heck's visiting us? Nobody. So we don't have a dining table. We have his little PC setup. And he was like, what we use that second bedroom for? we wouldn't use it for visitors. I was like, no, that would be the office. And he goes, exactly. And I was like, I want a second closet.
Slay.
And he was like, but it wouldn't really change our lives, would it? Like, guests would still stay in the living room. And I was like, and what about it? But I do love having a separation of work and bedroom. So again, it's one of those things where, you know, when you start tacking on expenses, where something costs something and you go, okay, well, you know, it's only $5 more for the premium version. So you spend $5 more for the premium version. And you go, well, the next tier is only $5 away too. So maybe I'll put $5 more on there. So it's just like tacking on what seems like inconsequential money to like reach that next level of comfort. And at some point you have to go, no, we're comfortable enough. Like, this is good for us. And I think right now we're kind of deciding where that is for us at this point in time.
No, but I totally get that, because even when I was visiting you guys last time and he was playing games in the living room, I felt bad being like, as a guest, I want to go to sleep now. And that means you cannot continue doing your normal life functions, like living your life as the way you normally would. So having that separation is still nice. But I also totally get that. And selfishly, so you're going to stay there for at least like 1 more month, meaning like the end of August?
Probably, I would say so.
Can I like spend the night when I have to go to Daisy Chain Fields because it's in Irvine?
Yes.
Another
yes,
announcement.
You absolutely can.
I survived the ticket war. Thank you so much. I survived the ticket war. Also, after hearing your explanation, I did not explain my update well. I'm going to start over. I'm going to try again. So, editing room, Becca and Emma, you can either just keep this one or everybody can hear all of this combined.
You're going to add on now.
I'm going to add so much. I didn't get to talk about the leading into or the actual stuff about the apartment that I love so much, because I don't think it's sunk in yet, because I found out on Thursday and I'm currently on day 5, just finished day 5 of a 7-day work week. So I really found out while I was working and have not had a day to like sit in it yet. Basically, it was, you reminded me because of the self-employment and content creation of it all and how difficult it was to get all my information in, because I am a nanny and I'm a writer and I'm an actor. And so all of my income comes in different various ways. A lot of it's from Venmo. The writing comes in from big grants. And also, if anyone's curious about the writing fellowship that I haphazardly just announced as well, it's the Anarchists United Discovery Writing Fellowship. And it's a 6-month program where we get to work with mentors and industry professionals. And it is founded by Lily Wachakowski with Anarchists United. And it's very, very cool. And it's very fun. And I've been waiting to talk about it for a long time. And the article is on my Instagram, and I am Emma Bruno too, if you want to go look at that. But basically, I'm getting...
We could put it in the show notes too.
Yes. And Life in Quarters Pod is mentioned in The Hollywood Reporter, which is really cool. Just a fun... But basically, my income comes in such a variety of ways, because I'm definitely making enough to afford the apartment. But if you can't see that, then it doesn't matter. And so basically, shout out to Yolanda at my new apartment, who is the best ever. She is the leasing manager for this location and a few others, but she basically like runs this place. And this apartment, you guys, has a 4.4 star review on Google and like a 3.7 on Yelp.
Unheard of.
Exactly. Out of like 27 and 37 reviews. And everybody in the reviews is like, Yolanda is the greatest person alive. And then I got to meet Yolanda on my tour, and I was like, Yolanda, you are the greatest person alive. You're amazing. And then Yolanda continued to be the greatest person alive, because with my weird income, I had been dealing with this the entire apartment hunt, because there was this one low income place I was looking at that had me do like 9 hours of paperwork for no good reason. And then I thought the same thing was kind of going to happen with this situation, where I told Yolanda from the jump, I was like, hey, I've got a lot of weird income coming in, so I'm going to send you my profit loss document. I'm going to send you my tax return. I'm going to send you Venmo screenshots. I'm just going to give you all the information that you could possibly need. And she was like, you don't have to do all that. You could just send us your bank statement. And I was like, no, I do need to do all that. And then like she called me Tuesday, so it was the day before the episode came out. I was like, hey, Emma, do you have like offer letters for any of the families you nanny for? And I was like, I can call all of them right now and get letters that verify that I work. What information do you need in those letters before I send them to you? And so I'm like rapidly like, hey guys, can you just send me like an email that says, I verify that Emma Bruno has been my nanny from this time to this time. She average works this many hours a week and she makes this much an hour. And they were all amazing. They got it back to me within 24 hours, all 4 of them. And I was so grateful. And Yolanda was like, this totally works.
I'm taking notes.
On what part?
On all of it. I'm like, what did you need to provide? Mine said, it was like income requirements. Yes. You need to have your W-2, you need to have this. And then literally they were like, a notarized this and that. And I was like, notarized. So can you guys be less serious about this? No. Like, that's diabolical. You make me get it.
No, completely. Luckily, I didn't have to get anything notarized, which was nice. No, I mean, I had to do the same thing for EBT. I had to write myself a little note and then sign it saying, like, I hereby certify that these are the profit and losses I've made for the last 6 months. Like, they just want you to be very explicit. And so I sent all that in, and I was so nervous. I've recently started implementing the philosophy with things that I really, really want, that I'm going to let myself be excited about it before I know, because I'm going to be heartbroken either way. And as an actor that gets rejected for things all the time, because that's just part of the game, I found that by pretending I don't want something, it just deprives me of the moments to be excited about it in the beginning. And I was even saying this about the writing fellowship to Becca before I got it. I was like, it's so much more fun to think about the what ifs when it's still a possibility than it is to think about the what ifs when you know you didn't get it. And so even with the writing fellowship, I was like, I'm just so excited. I'm really excited about these things and really getting my hopes up and really getting my heart into it. And just knowing that if I was depressed, I was going to be depressed regardless. And I felt the same way about this apartment, where I was like, I think I'm in love. And let me tell you why I'm in love before I continue this part of the story. I'm in love because it's 450 square feet. It has a built-in to the wall bookshelf that goes to the ceiling. And did I mention that ceiling is a vaulted ceiling? And that underneath, on the floor, hardwood floor, and a kitchen that's in an alcove. And then in that kitchen, there is a piece of counter that is low enough to the ground and has nothing underneath it. So it's basically a dining table. So I don't have to clutter up the main space with a dining table, because I'm not going to have guests over all the time. And then the walk-in closet, it is a Hannah Montana closet. I do not use that lightly, because as we talked about in the main episode, I'm not a big closet person. I don't care that much, but I walked in that closet and I was like, this is insane. This is, it might as well be revolving. It's so enormous. And the bathroom is lovely, and it has a tub, and parking is included, and trash is included, and water is included, and there's a security guard, and it's covered in plant life. Covered. It's beautiful. They bring in a landscaper every single Monday. Oh my God. And it's a corner apartment. It is a corner apartment. It's on the second floor, but the second floor, no one below me, because it's above the parking garage. So I only have one neighbor that I'm going to be sharing a wall with.
Ugh,
And
beautiful.
so I'm in love with this apartment. And
Beautiful, beautiful,
I
beautiful.
was in love with this apartment to begin with. It was in my budget, easily in my budget. It, after all of the deductions for a 12-month lease, it's $13.74 a month, which is excellent. Excellent. Leaves wiggle room in my budget.
The sweet
Excellent.
spot. That's exactly what we wanted.
It's pushing me to be better with my finances, but it's not making me feel that I'll die. But I was already so in love with it. And this is a big tip that I think people should take and use in life, is that I create for things that I really am in love with, and I know I'm going to be heartbroken if I don't get them. I create a celebration/consolation prize, and it should be the same either way. When I was waiting to find out about the fellowship, I was like, on the day I find out about the fellowship, I'm treating myself to food. I'm going to order the food, and it's either going to be a celebration meal or a consolation meal. Because either way, you should do something active.
I like that.
Thank you. I think it's helped me a lot because it's honoring the experience either way. Because I think I have a tendency to not celebrate the wins, and I have a tendency to take the losses, like to either take the losses really hard or to not take them at all. And so then it's, again, not getting validated. And so I found that it really helps because I have something to look forward to regardless, and I have something forward moving to do regardless. So for this one, I was going to take myself thrift shopping, and I still need to, but I didn't have the funny money for it. And I was also just like, I've been busy working, and it's okay because it wasn't a consolation. It's more important when it's the consolation, but it's important that the prize be the same, because then you're not being like, oh, but I could have had this if I'd done it. No, make the prize the same. So when I found out about the apartment, I was like, I'm taking myself thrift shopping, and I'm either going to get myself a pair of consolation boots or a pair of celebration boots for the Daisy Chain Fields Festival. So I have to go and get my celebration boots, which I'm really excited about because I have to plan that outfit. But I get to move in 2 weeks, which is crazy. Oh my gosh, and another amazing thing. These people, they're amazing because I get 1 free month of rent, which I've already factored into the budgeting of it. But also, and I think this is just like one of those things where everyone should do it, but not everyone's going to do it because I live in Los Angeles and people are corrupt. But I'm only going to be living in this apartment for 1 day in July. And I was already over here being like, okay, if I have to pay a full month in July, it's LA. I can make it work. Ultimately, like, I'm lucky enough with the writing fellowship to currently have a good little cushion to pull from, which is what pushed me to do the move right now, actually, is I knew I was going to have that financial cushion to use and to pull from. But they were like, I was talking to Yolanda, the goat, and I was like, so if I'm only living there for 1 day, do I have to pay the full month of rent? She was like, no, you only have to pay the 1 day of rent for July. And I was like, the 1 day? Really? Truly? Is the fairness? So I'm only paying like $50 for the month of July. The month of August is free. And then I start in on the $13.74. So basically what I want to do, because the month-to-month rent is $14.95. So what I'm doing this month is I'm going to have my $14.95 and then set it away. And then I'm going to pull from my $14.95 and budget for $13.74. So
Perfect.
I'm just really excited. It has not sunk in at all yet, I don't think. And also, my commute currently, if it's on the way there, is typically 35 to 40 minutes. On the way back from my jobs, it's an hour and a half easily with traffic. My commute is going to be 15 minutes and 30 minutes on the way back.
Oh, and it's glorious. That's a glorious life. That's a glorious, glorious life.
So yeah, I really didn't explain anything in the first explanation. I just was like, I did it, and then I did another thing.
Well, I'm glad you circled back because that was all very important information that I was keenly interested in and I loved hearing about.
I'm
In fact,
excited.
you inspired me to apply for that 2-bedroom apartment that I liked.
Yay! Yes, because I can also help you with
me.
I can help you with the self-employed nonsense that they're gonna make you like. I got documents on documents at this point.
I had to provide a lot of information to do the underwriting stuff, but weirdly, I feel like applying for an apartment, I feel like they're gonna ask me for different stuff. I feel like it's gonna be worse in some ways.
They are gonna ask you for.
I would never have expected.
Everyone asks you for specific forms. Nobody ever needs the same forms that you have prepared. It bugs me endlessly. I have to submit forms to so many different things all the time, and they always need something unique. It's never the thing I already have, and it always pisses me off.
Part of me is hoping that my husband gets a job in the next like week or two so that I don't have to do any self-employment stuff. And I could just be like, and here's both of our full-time job information. Woo, give me the apartment. Like,
I feel like that's going to happen.
I don't want to hear about it.
I feel like that is what's going to happen because I think it's the weird thing where everything happens when it's supposed to happen, because I found that horrible scuzzy apartment, and then that night, because I was just like desperately sad searching online, I found what is now going to be my current apartment. So I think it always happens when it's supposed to happen. I'm so excited, dude. I'm just planning. I'm planning. I'm like, because it's such
I'm planning
limited.
for you too. I have a list of stuff.
I'm so excited. Well, that's because you're so sweet. And then my brother's so sweet, too, because you guys told me to make a registry, which I think I should also make, just to at least plan out what I want to do. But I'm very excited.
I already made a Go Wish list on my account for your apartment.
What? I need to go wish. I'm a terrible friend. You're so excited about it, and I never do
Go
it.
Wish. Shout out to Go Wish. That's how I keep track of my wish list items.
Yeah.
Because you like, if you're shopping online, you're like, ooh, I really like this thing. You copy the link and you put it into your Go Wish app and you add it to your wish list, and then it's right there, all neat and tidy. And this is the only way I've ever maintained a wish list, because I have tried and failed to have wish lists in the past, and I'll tell you what, I do not maintain them. I put them in my notes, I take screenshots or whatever, and then I forget about it for the rest of my life. This is actually a great way to track wish list stuff.
That's too real, because I need to make that stat actually for my apartment. But the two things I'm the most excited for, because I'm trying to like maximize my space, and I was talking about the kitchen table. And so I'm not going to need a dining table for me, genuinely. But they make these cool collapsible dining tables that I didn't know existed, that basically it becomes a side table, and then you open it up and it's a 4-seater, and the chairs live inside the side table. So it's like $260 for like a 4-seater table with 4 chairs. And then also, because I've got a futon. I've had this futon since my very first apartment, and it's in good condition because no one uses it, because it's a futon. It just lives in my room. But I've got a couch already, but I want a comfy chair. And so think back to the cuck chair from the season 1 finale when we talked about it. So my mom and I have been looking at, like, for lack of a better saying, cuck chair options. So I can put the cuck chair in the corner next to where my couch is. Because I think I'm going to do I wish I could show the listeners the video right now, but of course we're recording on our phones or our various recording options, so I can't. But basically, it's like the kitchen wall is where I want to put the couch and seating area. And then across the apartment, where the bathroom wall would be, is where I want to put the bed and the desk. So I want to like basically be like, that's the bedroom side. And then the kitchen side is the like living guest side. That didn't make any sense.
Okay.
Did that make sense?
Draw a photo and then we'll put it on our Instagram.
I was going to say, I could just post the tour.
Just draw a picture. Don't post a video of where you're gonna live.
You're so right.
Don't do that.
You're like, this girl has never been doxxed. Let me draw a picture. I'm drawing a picture right now. Vamp. Talk to them about something.
Okay, so one of my things that I've done my whole life is I buy gifts for people because I love it. It's my favorite thing on planet Earth to do. It brings me so much joy. And Emma's the easiest person to buy for. She's so easy to buy stuff for, and it is so difficult to not buy her things left, right, and center. like my husband, if I wasn't married, you guys, I'd spend more money on buying Emma things, but now that I'm married, I have the fun police over there telling me, no, you can't just buy her random things all the time. Woo. And it's really difficult, I gotta tell you, but it's also good because in this case, like, Emma is moving into a studio apartment, and apartments fill up quick, so like I'm making it a priority to not get her stuff that takes up space. Like I got her these little glass cups, which are so cute. They're from Walmart. They're glass, and they have like a little dome lid, and they come with a glass straw, which I know people are like, that could break apart and like go into your veins and stuff. So if you're against the glass straws, and just don't use the glass straw. And they have these like little oranges, like these icon oranges all around them, and they're heat safe, they're cold safe, they're dishwasher safe. everything's safe, and I just couldn't believe it. And so I got 2 for me, and I got 2 for Emma, and then everything else, well, I'm not gonna tell you exactly what it is that's on my list. Actually, I got that Go wish list. Maybe Emma will post some of those things, but personally, unless it ends up on Emma's personal wish list, I'm not going to get things that take up space, because I don't want to inject my own wants into her realm. I'll let her make those calls. But yeah, I am so psyched. I am so psyched for this move. You have no idea. I'm thrilled. And I'm excited for my potential move, although I am conflicted still about the whole apartment situation. I'm looking at the map right now, and I'm trying to... Here's the thing, okay? Wait, come in close. So there's 2 two-bedroom options. The first one is like classic layout, 2 bedrooms. Balcony is necessary because my dog likes to hang out in the sun. So they both have balconies. The difference is one of them has like more living space than the other. And if you want more living space, which is, it's noticeable, right? You think that's not too noticeable. No, it's noticeable that one of them has more living space than the other one. It's like, it's the difference between having space for a dining table and not having space for a dining table. That's what I'm talking about here. But the difference in price is like $200. One moment, I think my husband is speaking in the background. Let me make sure. All right, I think he's done speaking in the background.
I just finished drawing.
Anyways. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's my other conflicting thought when it comes to this other apartment thing. Take it away, Emma.
No, I also actually finished drawing a second ago, and I already showed the viewers a picture of it. But fun spoiler for the listeners and watchers at home is that Becca can't see my face right now because I'm on my laptop, got like Bitcoin mined, so it's in the shop right now, so I'm on my computer. So I got a concussion and my laptop got Bitcoin mined. It's been a weird month. But this is the apartment, and so Becca's not going to know what I'm saying. Basically, you see, I've got the, sorry about my handwriting. This is the door, and this is the kitchen. And so I want that's the correct way to look at that. And I want to put the couch there. I want to put the cuck chair there. I want to put the TV on the kitchen wall. And I want open space. This is the built-in bookshelf. And then this would be where I want my desk, ideally, but it depends on if it fits into the divot in the wall. Bed, don't mind the scale. I don't know why I made the bed as big as the bathroom and the closet combined. This is the bathroom and this is the closet. And then it's got good light and vaulted ceilings. So this is the ideal, I think, layout if the puzzle pieces work the way I want them to work. Nobody tell Becca what this map looks like, I guess. She looks really confused right now.
I got it. Don't worry. Ready?
You drew it? Wait, I want to see.
I got it.
I'll do it so we can compare. Oh, wait, mine's going to be... I forget that we're going to do split screen, so I have to hold it close to my face so that the viewers can see them at the same time.
This is my attempt. Here, Emma. I don't know.
Tell me what everything says.
Okay, so I put the kitchen in the bathroom, and I also encompassed a walk-in closet in this area, because I didn't know where any of those goes because Emma's description was garbage. And then I put the bed in there, and then I also know there was a built-in shelf, and then I put a squiggle line for the living space. And here's the thing. I have seen the walkthrough video, so I'm really trying to remember, except I'm horrible at paying attention and retaining information.
Wait.
So, I think I'm pretty close. I think I'm pretty good.
I couldn't tell.
It's an apartment. How complicated could it be?
We've gone a little off the rails.
And imagine the bathroom. Imagine the bathroom leads to the closet.
The vanity,
I didn't
yes.
draw the closet,
the vanity
but I'm just
leads to the closet.
encompassing it in the bathroom.
Yes, it's kind of like a hallway.
Hell
it's
yeah.
like the vanity section with like the sink.
Hell yeah.
Which is nice, I like for guests, because that means if someone is showering or pooping or peeing, I guess, someone can still wash their hands or brush their teeth, which is nice.
Oh my gosh. Did I tell you about that horrible dream I had? Okay, well, this is a TMI, but I guess it's a little treat for anyone who's listening to the full episode. Well, I don't know if I can count it as a treat. Anyways, I'm going to overshare for a minute. Okay, so I went to Disneyland with my husband and then my friend, and then that night I was so exhausted, and we came home and I was sleeping in a bed with my husband, you know, like married couples do. And
wait, this is a dream.
Okay, in my dream.
Okay.
This is a dream. Well, no, in real life I'm in a bed with my husband after Disneyland. Okay. That's the lead up.
Okay.
I was spending the whole day with my husband and my friend, and we went to Disneyland, and then I came home, and I was exhausted, and I went to sleep really quickly. I really quickly did my nighttime routine because I was like, my skin's so bad, I gotta do my nighttime routine, and I did it really quick, and then I hopped into bed, and I was so tired. And so I'm sleeping, and in my dream, I'm with my husband and my friend, once again. We're going somewhere, don't know where. They both have to go pee. And so I was like, luckily, one of the houses that we own is in this area. What? We don't own multiple houses. I don't know why I would say that. And I was like, this house right here. Let's go into it. It looks exactly like my childhood home, but inverted. And then you get in and the layout's all different. So anyways, we go in, and I'm like, yeah, the bathroom's right down there. And so my friend goes in. No, not my friend. My husband goes into the bathroom in my dream, and he starts peeing or pooping or whatever. He's sitting on a toilet. And then my friend goes, oh man, I really gotta go to the bathroom too. And I'm like, hey, you can head into that bathroom that my husband just went into, because luckily there are 2 toilets in there. They're like right next to each other, like side by side or face to face or whatever. So she's like, amazing. So she goes into the bathroom with my husband, and they're both now peeing on this toilet or pooping or whatever. And then I'm sitting out there, and I'm like, oh, I really gotta go to the bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom so bad. And I'm like, I'll just wait. I'll wait till we get back to the original house that we're going to. I can make it. And they're like, no, like, go to the bathroom. There's a bathroom right there across the hall. And I was like, you're right. So across this dual toilet bathroom, there's a bathroom all by itself. So I go into that bathroom, and I sit down on the toilet in my dream bathroom, and I go, something's not quite right. And then my friend and my husband in the other dual toilet bathroom are now cheering me on to go pee. They're like, just go pee. Oh my gosh, like, we're already here. You're on the toilet. Like, what's stopping you? We're all going pee. Go pee. We're all going
piss,
pee.
girl.
And I was like, yeah, okay. All right, I will. And so they're cheering me on while I'm going pee. And then I realized I was pissing on myself in bed.
Wasn't the friend me?
As an adult, it gets worse. As an adult, it gets worse. So I opened my eyes because I knew immediately. You know, once you feel that warmth, once you go, there's nothing going into this toilet bowl, you're going, oh, I'm pissing on myself. So I open my eyes. Husband's next to me. And I go, what the fuck do I even do in this situation? Where do I go from here? So I was like, I have a brilliant idea. I get out of bed and I start stripping the bed with him still sleeping on it. I'm like, if I could yank it quick underneath him, he none the wiser, right? And so I take everything off, and I go to yank it, and he, of course, this 6'5" man, I didn't pull hard enough on that sheet to like abracadabra it out from under him. And so he groggily rolls over at me, and he goes, piss or blood? And I go, piss. And he was like, what was your plan here? Yeah, anyways.
High key.
That's my life.
High key. I'm not messing with you whatsoever. Not being facetious. Those are my favorite stories about marriage. Like, that's love. That's what love is. You know what I mean? That's what I like.
Arms full of bed stuff. I'm like a raccoon being caught in the trash can, and he just goes, piss or blood? And I was like, piss. I wish I could have said blood. I was like,
For me, it's the what's your plan here? I'm like, that's love. That's love.
Yeah. He was like, what's the plan with this?
So I guess on that note,
Anyways.
I feel very ready. I feel like this was awesome. We talked about piss. We talked about poop. I totally set my mic down during the entire envelope apartment tour. I was like, I'm gonna have to fix that audio, but that's dope. Well, I hope you enjoyed. But you can find me on Instagram at I am Emma Bruno 2. That's TOO, and on TikTok at I am Emma Bruno.
And you can find me on TikTok and YouTube at Rebecca.Souden. You can find me on Instagram at r.souden.money. And you can find me on Substack. I have a little page called The Life Ledger.
Mm-hmm. You can find this podcast on Instagram at Life in Quarters Pod.
And you can listen to this podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. For example, wherever you're listening to it right now or watching it. Shout out YouTube.
You should watch this one.
Bye.
We did visual bits.
You should watch this one.
Visual bits.
Yeah, go to YouTube and watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.